Handheld PCs, right? Everyone's talking about them. But which one should you actually buy?
Yeah, that's a tough choice.
We're talking Steam Deck, the veteran, versus the newcomer, the Asus ROG Ally.
A real showdown.
So in this deep dive, we're going deep. Specs, performance, even some of those quirky user experiences.
Good at the full picture.
So by the end, you'll know exactly which one's for you.
Yeah.
Or maybe, maybe you should wait for the next generation.
Always a possibility.
So if you want a game on the go, but, you don't want to sacrifice power and you don't want to break the bank,
Who does?
then buckle up.
Let's kick things off with the performance showdown, right? That's what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, the ROG Ally, it comes out swinging, doesn't it?
It does. AMD Z1 Extreme chip, 8.6 teraflops.
That's a lot.
It is over 5 times the power of the Steam Deck's APU,
Which is,
1.6 teraflops. So
Yeah.
on paper, looks like a total wipeout, right?
yeah, but then you look at the real world benchmarks
Uh-oh.
and things get interesting.
Yeah.
Ally's performance has actually dipped since launch. Yeah, because of software updates. It's still more powerful, but that gap is closing.
Fascinating. And then there's the screen resolution.
Yeah, big difference there.
Steam Deck's lower res screen, 800p, actually works in its favor.
Versus the Ally's 1080p
Right. So those older chips in the deck, they can push out smoother gameplay.
because they're not working as hard.
Exactly. Not rendering as many pixels. Strategic trade-off.
Definitely. Okay, so let's talk real world gaming. Cyberpunk 2077, for example.
Good example. The Ally, higher settings, no problem.
But
Battery life, major hit, maybe an hour or two of playtime.
ouch.
The Steam Deck, lower settings, squeezes out a bit more. So visual fidelity versus portability, classic trade-off.
Yeah, you might need a packet charger for those Cyberpunk sessions on the Ally.
For sure.
Speaking of trade-offs, let's talk operating systems. This is where it gets kind of philosophical.
Ooh, getting deep.
The Steam Deck, with its SteamOS, it's like a console experience. Streamlined, user-friendly, all about that Steam library.
Just want to jump into a game. Steam Deck's your friend.
Yeah, plug and play. Gaming bliss. ROG Ally, on the other hand, full Windows 11.
Whole different ball game.
Any PC game you can think of, plus other software. A lot more flexibility, but
There's always a but.
it can be fiddly. Windows on a small touchscreen.
Yeah, drivers, settings. It's definitely more of a PC experience with all the good and bad that comes with that.
And then you've got this whole Proton thing.
Ah, Proton. The Linux folks love it.
So Proton is this compatibility layer.
Right, lets the Steam Deck, which runs on Linux, play Windows games.
And it's gotten really good, apparently. Some people are saying it's the future of gaming.
Could be. Blurring those lines between operating systems.
So maybe you could have the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
Ease of SteamOS, but the massive Windows library.
That's the dream.
Game changer for sure. But let's step away from the software for a second. How do these things actually feel in your hands?
That
The
mouth.
Steam Deck. Bit of a chonky boy,
It is.
but reviewers, they love those ergonomics.
Surprisingly good. And those trackpads, they're actually useful for certain games.
Like what?
Strategy games, for example. ROG Ally, much sleeker. But I've seen some complaints about the buttons,
Oh
the
yeah.
D-pad. Some people find them a bit mushy.
Deal breaker for some.
Could be, especially if you're a button masher. Though I have seen reports that the updated ROG Ally X, it's addressed some of those issues.
So they're listening.
Seems like it.
But there's this one detail we found. Buried in a Reddit thread. It caught our eye.
What's that?
Ally's micro SD card slot. Apparently prone to overheating.
Uh-oh.
Not ideal if you're relying on that for extra storage.
Makes you think, right, about those design choices.
It does. And that brings us to, well, the bottom line. Price. Value.
Gotta make sure you're getting your money's worth.
The Steam Deck starts at $349.
Tempting.
But that's the 64 GB model. To match the Ally's 512 GBB, you're looking at $449.
And a performance hit.
The ROG Ally Z1 Extreme, all that power, Windows flexibility,
Yeah, you're paying for it.
$700.
That's a chunk of change.
And then there's the Steam Deck OLED, right?
Ah.
Vibrant screen.
Lower resolution, though.
So, lots of options. The question is,
What are your priorities?
do you want that smooth, console-like experience of the Steam Deck, even with the less powerful chips?
Or do you need the raw power and flexibility of the Ally, even if it means, paying more, dealing with Windows?
Tough call. We've thrown a lot at you, haven't we? Performance, software, the feel of the thing, the price. Hopefully you're starting to get a sense of which device might be right for you.
Yeah, what fits your gaming style and, your budget.
Yeah.
Finding that sweet spot's the key.
For sure.
Now, that Ally micro SD slot overheating, that's a worry, right?
Yeah, it is a bit concerning.
But the Steam Deck isn't perfect either. It's got its own quirks.
So for sure, nothing's perfect. What are some of the things Steam Deck users have been complaining about?
Fan noise comes up a lot in the forums. That fan can get pretty loud, depending on the game. How hard you're pushing the system.
Oh, I see. So much for stealth gaming, huh?
Right. And then there's the battery life.
Yeah.
Both devices struggle with it, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a common problem.
But the Steam Deck, you're not getting console-level battery life. Especially with those demanding games. A few hours, if you're lucky.
So pack a power bank, maybe. Or
Okay.
stick to those indie games. Lower power requirements.
Exactly. So we've been talking hardware, specs.
Right.
But what about the actual experience? Using these things.
That's what matters, right? At
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I think both devices, they offer something unique.
Okay, yeah.
The Steam Deck with SteamOS, it really nails that console feel.
Oh.
Simplicity, ease of use.
Pick it up and play.
Precisely. And that curated library of Steam Deck verified games, it takes away the guesswork.
Compatibility, yeah.
You know things are going to run smoothly, no messing with settings, drivers. But the ROG Ally with Windows 11,
Windows.
it's a different kind of freedom. Install whatever you want, tinker with settings.
The tinkerer's choice.
You can even use it for other stuff, not just gaming. It's more versatile, but, more potential for headaches. Driver issues, software conflict.
The classic Windows experience, then.
Pretty much. Speaking of headaches, remember that battery life on the Ally?
Oh, yeah.
There's actually some good news. They've released an updated model of the Ally X.
Oh, okay.
Much bigger battery. Seems they were listening to the feedback. Battery life on the Ally X, it's reportedly a lot closer to, what you'd expect from a dedicated gaming device.
That's a big win. For portability, for sure. But I'm guessing there's a catch.
There always is, right?
Right.
Higher price tag, better features, deeper pockets. But it's good to see them making those improvements.
Shows they're serious. About this handheld gaming market, so where do you see this whole market going?
The future?
Yeah, the future of handheld PCs.
That's a great question. I think we're just at the beginning.
Right.
The Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, they've shown there's a demand for this powerful, portable gaming.
Okay.
And as technology moves forward, those experiences are only going to get better. More powerful handhelds, better battery life, new features.
What kind of features?
Who knows? Maybe even VR, augmented reality.
VR on the go. Wow. That's a whole other level. Okay. But let's bring it back to the present.
Yeah.
If you had to pick a winner right now,
Tough choice.
which one would it be?
The Steam Deck or the Ally?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. They both have strengths, weaknesses. It depends what you need, what your priorities are.
So no clear knockout.
Not really. If you want that console-like experience, ease of use, that curated library,
Yeah.
Steam Deck's a great option, especially with the new OLED model.
Right.
But if you're a power user, you want that Windows flexibility, the tinkering, the using it for other stuff.
Makes sense.
The Ally might be a better fit.
Especially if you can get the Ally X with a better battery.
Exactly. But honestly, either way, you're getting a cutting-edge piece of tech. Opens up a world of possibilities. Gaming on the go.
For sure. Okay, we've covered a lot, haven't we? Specs, pros, cons, those hidden quirks, even the future of handheld gaming. But now it's over to you.
What speaks to your gaming soul?
The Steam Deck. The ROG Ally.
Head to the comments, let us know.
What features are must-haves? What games are you dying to play on the go?
And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive,
Into the world of handheld gaming.
don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, catch all our future episodes.
We'd love to have you along.
But before you go, remember that fascinating detail we promised you.
About the Steam Deck's origins.
We haven't forgotten.
Stick around for part 3. We'll reveal all. You won't want to miss it. Okay, time to lift the curtain on this intriguing backstory. We were talking about the Steam Deck's roots.
Yeah.
In Valve's experiments with living room PCs, those Steam machines, they never really took off.
Right, those little boxes supposed to revolutionize couch gaming didn't quite work out,
But they planted the seeds for something else, something special.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
And this connection goes even deeper. It actually links back to, you might not expect this, the Samsung Galaxy Gear VR.
Whoa, a VR headset. How does that tie into a handheld gaming PC?
So Valve, they were deeply involved with Samsung, developing that Gear VR headset, pushing the boundaries of VR tech, hardware, software, the whole thing.
So they were already thinking about portable gaming, immersive experiences.
Yeah, and that got them thinking, what if we could take all that power shrink it down into a self-contained VR device. No wires, no external PC, nothing.
A true go-anywhere VR system. That's ambitious.
It was. But they hit some roadblocks. VR tech, not quite there yet. Hardware, too bulky, too expensive.
Ahead of its time.
Exactly. But they didn't give up on all that work. They took all that knowledge, those optimization techniques, the UI design,
Yeah.
and applied it to a new concept, a handheld gaming PC.
So the Steam Deck, born from these VR dreams, that's kind of poetic.
In a way, yeah. Innovation builds on itself even when things take unexpected turns.
It's fascinating how it all connects. And now we have these amazing devices, high-fidelity gaming on the go. Who would have thought?
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Specs, pros and cons, hidden flaws, the future of handheld gaming. But now it's decision time.
Time to choose which one calls to you.
The Steam Deck, born from those VR dreams. Or the ROG Ally, flexing its Windows muscles.
Tough choice. What matters most to you? What are those must-have features? What games are you dying to play on the go? Let us know in the comments.
We want to hear from you.
And hey, if you've enjoyed this deep dive,
Into the world of handheld PCs.
hit that like button, subscribe. Explore the world of tech and gaming with us. Until next time.
Keep on diving.